over here. I'll move this over for you. Okay. I have my helpers with me today. Hey guys. Okay, Cole, you got to be on that seat last time. So Cole, you're gonna sit in the other seat.
I don't need to get out of the way of this banner. My kitchen's really small, so I can't get further away.
I know. It's so hard to figure out how best to set the camera up in here. I'm gonna scoot over just a little bit so I can go right in the middle. There we go, Cole.
I'm not in.
You are in. Look, we are all three in.
Can you move the camera just a little?
Just a little. I can. Yep.
Hey, Maxwell.
Yeah.
How are you today?
There. They were both in.
That's sort of
Here, let's move you in. I'm sneaking in here.
Okay.
We have a couple of people watching us today, joining us. I hope a few. So while we're you are in, Nicole, you can see yourself right there, right?
It's
Little
not
wave to everybody.
into caramel. It's gonna be
So we were on vacation. Good morning, Amy. Good morning, Olivia. Oh, you can't hear us. That's weird.
I can hear you.
You can hear me. There was an issue. They said on the thing that there's a lot of people using the software, so it could be an issue with Facebook.
Oh.
We could hear everybody.
Clara is there. Can anybody else hear me?
Right, maybe let us know if you can hear, so then we'll know if
Yeah, let us know if you can hear, so we can
Hello,
see if it's just one issue or if it's more than one. Okay, so Aunt Liz can hear.
sugar. You can have a piece of apple, or you can just wait.
Cora and Cammie. Okay, no Marin.
No apple.
And you guys can hear. Wonderful. Yes, Maxwell. You can have some. You can have some water.
I don't have any milk today.
No, I know you didn't yet, but right now you can have some water if you'd like.
Can I have cream cheese?
Later for lunch, we're gonna have cream cheese.
Today we're making caramel to put on apples.
Yes, we were on vacation.
Finally.
Finally. And we had these giant caramel apples.
And I really wanted one, but my mom here wouldn't let me get one.
It's true. It's so true.
So I had to get butter and chocolate.
I'll cut a piece of it.
I mean, there were worse things in the world than peanut butter and chocolate.
And now we're finally getting it.
And now we're finally getting it. And here's the thing, you guys. I was saying when I was writing last night to put up a post about this is that I actually don't love caramel apples because I find them, first of all, so hard to eat. And you take these big bites and then all of a sudden, like you've eaten the outside and all you have is an apple.
Yeah.
And that's so disappointing. It seems like it's going to be so fun and then it ends up being not as fun. So if you make caramel sauce. Yeah, or if you make caramel sauce, you can dip pieces of apple in, and every single piece of apple has a good amount of caramel on it. So this is definitely the better way to go, don't you think?
No, I just wanted like a whole apple and caramel.
Yeah.
I mean,
pieces we're gonna dip.
No.
Well, you can dip one in there. You won't get all hard like caramel. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and get started.
I want it like it is regular in stores.
We're going to make the caramel, and then we'll figure that out later. Okay? Okay. So, and Grandma Helene is here.
Hi, Grandma. Hi, Grandma.
So I'm going to move this for just a second, boys, okay?
Okay.
So I'm going to write down some of the ingredients. Maybe you could read it to me, Cole. Can you read these ingredients to me? And I'm going to write them down on our banners.
1 cup of sugar.
Okay, hold on. So here's going to be, I'm going to put the whole recipe. So it's 1 cup of sugar. Actually, we're going to do this first. 1 cup of sugar. And how much water does it say?
1.5 cup of water.
So when it's just 1/2, that means 1/2.
Yeah.
Yeah. So 1/2 cup of water. Okay. So that is going to be the first thing we're going to combine in our pot. Okay. So later, but right now, remember when we're doing our class, we're not going to get anything to snack on, okay? And then after the class, you can. Okay. Yes, you're very good at measuring, Cole. So if you guys remember, when you're measuring into a liquid, you're going to use your, ideally, your glass measuring like this so that you don't spill over. That's really the biggest reason. And you're going to look for your line, and then you're going to find what's called the meniscus, which is the very bottom of your liquid. And so you're going to pour this in, Cole. You're going to get your eye right even. Maxwell, you can tell him when to stop. He's got to stop at the 1/2. Oops. That's okay. I'm sure you're okay. Wait for it to stop shaking. What do you think? Do you think we're close?
Looks good. Perfect.
Okay. So we're going to put a cup of sugar.
Did it.
I mean, a cup,
Keep going. Or you're
half a cup of water. And then,
How can I do that?
yeah, Maxwell, you're going to measure your cup of sugar. Now, here's a tip for making caramel. You want to try to get your sugar right into the center of your pan and not along the edge. Not along the edges, because you don't want, if you do get sugar along the edge, you're going to want to use a wet pastry brush to kind of brush it down, because if you get crystals of sugar in there and they don't melt, then your caramel won't be smooth. It might have little crystals in it. So you're going to try to get all the sugar right into the middle. So I'm actually going to pour it this time. So it's easier to pour.
What is it?
This is sugar.
Can I taste that?
Maybe there. That's that.
Are you being good?
You're being so good, you guys.
It
Okay.
doesn't look like sugar. Oh, it's powder.
I know it's sugar. Wait. I'm making sure it's the right thing. I'm not going to pour it in, I promise.
It
Okay.
looks like it's powder.
So we're going to mix 1 cup of sugar in with your half a cup of water. Okay. We're not going to stir it. So here's what's going to happen. We're going to put this onto, you can slightly swirl it a little
Can I
bit.
do it?
No, Yeah. He's going to do a little swirl to get our sugar and our water combined. And we're going to have a little bit of downtime in this recipe, because we have to get our sugar and our water boiling.
Okay, so put it on high heat.
Okay, it's good. It's good.
Okay, yep, you're going to put it on like medium to high heat. So I'm going to just show you what it looks like now.
Pieces of sugar in this.
Well, there won't be sugar, pieces of sugar. Yes, you can go get yourself some water, okay?
Thank you. Good job.
Okay, so now let me tell you a little bit about what we're going to do next, because we're going to want to get our rest of our ingredients mise en place, because what happens, do you remember what the word mise en place means, Cole? Mise en place.
Well, Nissan's a type of
Not Nissan, mise en place. It's French. It means put in place. You're going to want to have the rest of your ingredients ready to go, because once your sugar and your water are boiling, it's going to start going very quickly. And you don't want your sugar to burn, because then you just have to start all over again. I was reading a couple of different recipes last night to get some ideas on how best to make caramel. One of the recommendations is to cover the pan now when you put your pot on with the water and the sugar, because the condensation will make sure that any sugar that's around the edge of your pan, will kind of melt down into the liquid. But you don't actually want to be stirring at this point. No, because if you stir your sugar and water now, you could end up getting sugar crystals around the edge. And if you get sugar crystals around the edge, there, and if they fall back into your caramel will be kind of gritty. So we're going to bring our sugar mixture up to a boil.
Mom, do you really want them?
I'm covering mine right now. And in just a moment, we're going to uncover it as soon as it gets to a boil.
Caramel apples are good with green apples, but we don't really have any green apples, so we're just going to use this apple.
Okay. So we're just going to go back here, because I want to just share with everybody what the rest of the ingredients are for the next part. Because once your sugar and your water boils, you want to keep a really close eye on this. And you might want a grown-up here, because this sugar is going to get very, very hot. Okay. So once your water gets to a boil, you can take the cover off.
Caramel gets really hot when you.
And you're going to bring your heat just a little bit down, maybe to like a medium heat.
Once it's boiling?
Mine is boiling, and you don't want to stir at this point, because if you stir, again, you're going to get sugar crystals around the edge. If you have a pastry brush, you can wet it, and you can use that to stir up or to wipe down any of the sugar crystals. Okay, now what we're going to do is I'm going to add a banner, And this banner is going to have the rest of the ingredients.
I'm all ready.
Can you actually read it for me, Cole? Because I have to go a little bit quickly here.
1 tablespoon butter.
Okay, 1 second. 1 tablespoon of butter. And unsalted is probably best, but it's going to be fine if you use salted.
No butter knife.
1 cup milk or cream.
Is it 1 cup or 1/2?
Oh yeah, one half cup milk.
Okay, 1/2 cup of milk or cream and a pinch of salt. Okay, so what I'm going to ask everybody to do now is to get all of that ready to go. So Cole, you are going to be in charge of pouring this in again.
Yeah.
And I just want 1/2 cup again.
Okay.
I'm going to use cream because I actually have cream today. And Maxwell, you're going to be in charge of doing my chop. Now, the water and the sugar are going to boil. And what we're going to keep an eye on, it's going to take about 10 minutes. But we're going to keep an eye on it and really watch it, especially when it starts to turn a little bit brown.
That's good.
Okay, so ours is boiling as well.
Perfect. You did a great job. Okay, now, will you do me a favor, Maxwell, and just press down? I'm going to kind of make a little. Okay, can you chop right here? If you don't have a whisk, this would be a good time to grab a whisk. We're going to need a whisk in a moment. I should have mentioned that. Perfect.
Go get it.
Okay.
So Jen, once the sugar water is boiling, we turn
Yep. We're just going to keep cooking the sugar water and cooking it and cooking it. And what's going to happen is the quick bubbles. You notice how the bubbles are kind of quick right now? I'll show you what mine looks like. Let's see if I can figure this out. You can see the bubbles are kind of quick. What's going to end up happening is that the bubbles are going to start to get kind of slow and thick. And when that happens, that's when you know you're starting to brown your sugar and when you're going to start to make your caramel. Okay? So you're going to not stir it. You're just going to kind of watch it. It's going to start to get golden brown. And when that happens, in a moment, when that happens, you can take your handle and just kind of slowly kind of stir it around just to distribute the the browning. And then we're going to be adding our butter and our cream or milk at that point. So
And I don't know, but sometimes caramel biscuits are good too.
oh, those are our biscuits we made the other day. Are you tasting my biscuits? That was what I was having for breakfast. I never quite finished breakfast.
Oh, what? Are you busy? Is this not a relaxing?
Does that happen to anybody else? How about kids out there? Do you ever not finish your breakfast
Me.
because somebody comes and asks you if you can help them get dressed or help them make the bed? Doesn't that happen to you kids? No, you always finish your breakfast. So while this is happening, and it's going to take about 10 minutes, I want to ask the group what your favorite things that you guys have cooked or eaten have been since you guys have been home. I'm really curious because we're going to let this kind of boil. It's probably going to take about 10 minutes. So Wes, maybe you can start. What is your favorite thing that you have cooked in your kitchen or eaten in your kitchen this in the last couple of days? What do you like to eat the most? I didn't hear it.
Say it again louder.
Bacon.
Bacon.
Number one favorite food. Anything with bacon, which we
I love it. I love it. How about you guys, Cole? What's been your favorite thing that we've made in the kitchen or cooked together?
So my favorite has been noodle soup.
Oh,
But,
yeah.
But now I think it's gonna be the caramel apples.
Oh, okay. And we are big fans of the little noodle soup. Do you remember that from growing up? What's been your favorite, Maxwell?
My favorite is mac and cheese.
Maxwell loves mac and cheese. Oh, yeah, that's Cole's favorite. Okay. You know what? You can show them this one if you want.
I think
Actually, yesterday, Jen, we made molasses cookies because I've been sort of like going through the pantry and finding things that we can make. And we had molasses, and they were awesome. I will share the recipe.
Oh, yum. I love
Chocolate
molasses
chocolate.
cookies. Oh, chocolate brownies. And Cammie and Cora said they ate all of the biscuits. And Gillian said that they made some chocolate cookies. That's amazing. Sweet potato cheese frittata. Emily, yum. You're gonna have to send that recipe over.
Mommy,
Yum. We did a frittata this fall with squash that sounds similar, and that would have been amazing. Nana says that you love the camera. Okay, I'm gonna just show
Honey oat bread.
honey oat bread and cinnamon rolls. Yum. Okay,
Nana and Papa.
they're watching. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna show you my sugar and water. So it's starting. It's not turning brown yet. Oh, let's see if I can get that better. It's not turning brown yet, but the bubbles are getting a little slower. A little bit slower. That means that the mixture is thickening and turning into a syrup.
Yeah,
And it's
like
gonna
the
get
blueberry syrup we used
a
yesterday.
little bit. And so it's getting a little bit
It's getting a little bit like thicker.
yeah, it's getting thicker. And what's gonna happen
And caramel's pretty thick and like sticky like syrup.
yeah.
Right.
And so what ends up happening is it's going to get thick. And here's where we're going to watch. Oh, Amy, yes, it is okay to use brown sugar. I saw several recipes with brown sugar. I think it's just going to be a little bit different flavor, like maybe a little bit like a warmer sort of.
Yeah, I think it would actually taste great.
Yeah, almost like more like molasses-y type flavor. Can you put your pantry behind me for it? Great. So mine is starting to get thick. And here's what's going to happen next. When it gets brown, it's going to start going kind of quick, okay? So as your sugar, that's okay. You just put a little sugar in there. You can go have a little bit of sugar. As your mixture starts to brown, you can swirl your pot just a little bit, just kind of like this, just to kind of make the brown mixture move around. And you don't want to burn your sugar, so stay over there, okay? Will you eat that? So what we're going to do is we're going to take it off the heat and we're going to whisk in our butter, okay? Once you've whisked in your butter, you're going to add your milk slowly. And here's the thing. Your milk is going to boil and fizz, okay? Because the temperature difference is so great between your milk and your sugar. And so you want to just be really careful to add it slowly so it doesn't just kind of fizz all the way up, okay? So we're gonna take it off the heat. We're gonna whisk in the butter, and then we're gonna add our milk or our cream. We're gonna add it back to our heat, and add just a pinch of salt. And you definitely want to add salt because salt actually helps to bring out the sweetness in the sugar. So you definitely are going to want to add the salt. And if you add a little bit more salt, you're going to have a salted caramel. Yes, but can you go that way? Can you go around that way just so I don't?
This way.
Okay. I just didn't want you to fall off the table. So when we go ahead and add the salt, you can do a pinch, and you definitely want to add that because it's going to really make the sugar sweeter, believe it or not. But if you want to add a little more sugar, you could. And that's just going to, a little more salt you could, and that's going to just make it more of a salted caramel.
I love that flavor.
Liz asked if the milk should be more than room temperature. I did read a couple recipes that called for the milk to be warmed up. So you could put it in, I might maybe even just put it in the microwave for just a moment, just to warm it. Mine's been out at the, on the counter, but I don't think it has to be, but it would not hurt to be a little bit warm, to have your milk be a little bit warmer than room temperature.
It's turning brown.
And I think your mom says hello to Laura and Wes.
Oh, man, is there? Wait.
And I don't know if anybody else is starting to smell the sugar cooking.
Mom, it's turning a little.
Oh, yeah. So good. Thank you for showing that to me, Maxwell. So I'm going to show everybody. Mine is starting to brown. Let's find the spot.
It's starting to go slower.
It is starting to go slower. Cole, can you move back just a little bit? I'm just going to put this here. Can you guys see how it's a little brown in the corner there?
I told you that.
So, yeah, you did. So now is when you might swirl it just a little bit to distribute that, because you want to get that browning everywhere. So mine is starting to turn brown.
I like the screen.
And I'm going to get my whisk out and be ready to go with my butter. Is everybody doing okay? I've got my butter that Maxwell chopped for us. So we're going to remove it from the heat in a moment and add our butter. And then we're going to add our milk. slowly. And if you can get it to not quite, Dad is there. I'm so glad because this is, Cammie and Cora said that Mom wasn't there. And I thought, well, this is a recipe that might require a grown-up. So glad that Dad is there. Good. So I'm going to swirl my pot just a little bit. Can you stand back, Cole? I'm just swirling it a little bit. And it's starting to get nice and caramel colored. Laura, how's yours doing?
So we're not quite there. I can see just a little bit of color starting to form, but it's not as dark as yours. I do have a question though. So when it comes time to add in the butter and the milk, and then you said put it back on the heat, do you put it at medium heat at that point?
Yeah, like a medium heat when you put it back on. And that's just to make sure it's all combined. Okay. And then we're just going to let it cool and you have made caramel sauce. Pretty easy. I saw a couple of variations last night too that called for some vanilla. So you could probably add vanilla. You could do cinnamon. I thought might be my next experiment to do a cinnamon caramel sauce.
In the fall, I think it was Halloween, we made a caramel with, instead of water, we used apple cider as the base. And
oh my goodness. So have it slightly tart.
Mom.
Oh,
that's
it was
amazing.
we were just like eating it with
Who liked the pesto pancakes? Where's that? Oh, Olivia loved the pesto pancakes. You know what? Maxwell, my Maxwell loved the pesto pancakes.
Even though he hates everything that's green.
Yeah. Okay. I'm taking mine off the heat because I can tell mine is really close from going to a dark brown to burned. And I can tell that because it's starting to smoke just a little bit. So I'm going to add my butter. Careful, stand back because it's a little hot. And it's starting to fizz.
And then it gets like more like lighter brown.
So when you add the butter, let's see if I can do this. I'm having a hard time with my and my
hands. Maybe Cole could be your
stand back because this is really hot.
I can hold this now.
Really, really hot. I think I got it. So you can see how it's fizzing. Okay. That's good, Cole, but don't bend it too much. There we go. Okay, great. And I'm going to remove it more from the heat now. Just put it back a little bit more so it's removed. Okay, now, so I removed it from the heat, and now I'm going to take my cream, which I had put in the microwave up here. It's a little bit warm, and I'm going to very slowly. Can you hold this? Oh, okay, I don't need that right now. I can answer it later. Cole, can you hold my camera for me? See if you can get the pot. Can you hold the whole thing? All right, bud. Okay, now I'm going to slowly add my cream. Oh, and can you guys hear the fizz? I don't know if you can hear it, but it's going to definitely fizz.
Whoa.
Yeah, it kind of gets like foamy.
It gets really foamy. And this is where you just don't want it to boil over.
Foamy.
Mommy, is it done?
It is so close to done. Can you see it there, Cole? Can you get a close-up of the...
Could have chopped.
Okay.
Come on.
So now we're going to grab our salt.
Wait, Mom. Wait. I just need to write something.
Well, we can't write that now.
I need to write a
banner. Extreme cooking with kids.
I mean, who needs to work out? You just have to do this class every day, Jen. Your heart rate will be up high.
Yeah, especially when we're making hot caramel. Okay, so I just added my pinch of salt. Yeah, go over there and taste a little salt. Okay, so Cole,
I'm writing a
put it back
banner.
on the heat just slowly.
I'm writing a banner. It's delicious.
I'm just mixing it up. And we are just about done.
Mom.
So we're still waiting for ours to brown, which I was just saying, I think that is the hardest part of making caramel is patience because
I think that's right. I think that's right. And so mine is, I'm going to keep the whisk out and let that cool.
Mom,
Yeah.
coming out.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay. We lost everybody for a second. Hold on. We're back.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Mom, it's
Well,
not coming out.
Okay, I'll get to some in a little bit. Hold
Who
on.
wants some?
Okay, so let me
I'm
move
writing
this
the
over.
banner that it says it's delicious.
All right, so we're gonna come back over here.
Can we play with the apple?
Mom, is this how you spell delicious?
It's close, Cole. It's gonna be DELICIO.
I-O. Fine.
US.
U.S.
You guys have been learning about OUs in your spelling today.
Wait,
That's
Mom.
great.
Mom, what's
Now
your
you can press add a banner, and then you can press show,
show?
and
It's delicious.
it is delicious.
Wait, Mom, I need to do the. Oops, I needed to do a this.
Okay.
Well, Mom, it's not done. It's not done.
You want to change it?
It's not done.
Okay. So let me ask everybody out there, how are you guys doing on your caramel?
Okay, so ours is bubbling away.
Okay.
But it's still not quite brown enough to add.
Okay.
The bubbles are slowing down. So we're trying not to eat the whole apple while we wait for this.
Yeah, understood.
Hey, Mom, now
Understood.
can we put it on?
Yep, and you can pay. Go ahead.
Show.
Cole tried something new. There we go.
It's delicious.
So ours is smelling very good as well.
Motivating me to tidy my kitchen every day at 11 because otherwise.
Everybody's doing good. So Amy says that hers is not brown.
Delicious.
I imagine it could be a little tricky with the brown sugar. That's a good point. I see a little bit of caramel dots here. Boys, you want to come on over and taste? Come on over this way. Yeah, put your salt back in the.
I want to taste.
All right, we're gonna taste the caramel that's on our.
I didn't get any.
We're tasting ours.
Well,
Gillian says they're doing well.
where at?
Good part, right?
You got.
Sure.
Another thing we did back in the fall, so that caramel.
It's really good.
You were saying back in the fall. Yep.
When we made the apple cider caramel. So the original recipe that I was trying to make is for apple cider candies, like soft caramel candies.
Oh yeah.
That you have to use a candy thermometer and get it up to a certain temperature where the caramel kind of turns into this like taffy texture.
Oh yeah.
It's yummy.
And so the first time I did it, I didn't quite get there. And so it was just like a caramel sauce. So we ended up using with sliced apples. And then I attempted it again and did it correctly and made those candies. And those were awesome too. So if you have a candy thermometer, I will share the recipe. Maybe and that would be such a fun project for people to take on.
Awesome. Well, Cammie's saying that it smells really good. And can you guys welcome to go play a little bit while this cools down. It's going to take a second. We're going to pour mine into a jar.
From the jar.
It's not good yet. So one of the things I did sort of by accident was kept it cooking a little bit longer. So mine just got a little bit browner than it probably should have, which is just going to give it a deeper flavor. But mine's ready to go. I should have taken it off the heat sooner, and I got caught up talking a little bit. But our caramel is ready to go. I might wait a second and let it cool down just a little bit more because I don't want it to break the jar. But it's looking really good. Nice deep dark color. Okay, so yes, Amy's asking about adding the milk. So you're going to whisk in the butter. Once the butter is whisked in, you can slowly add your milk. And again, it's a half a cup of milk. And so you're going to slowly add your milk and whisk it. Once you've added your milk, you can go ahead and put it back on the oven just for a second, on the stovetop, just for a second to stir, and add your pinch of salt. And you're definitely going to want a pinch of salt there. My kids, I'm going to give you a little view of what they're doing. They're trying to get every little bit off the whisk. Any other questions as we're going along here? Whoops.
The caramel is also something, I mean, if you don't eat it all like in the next 2 days, which may in fact happen, it will last in the fridge for quite a while. Because we ended up like with a double batch because I had messed it up the first time. So if we had it in the fridge for, I don't know, I would say almost a month probably. It's such a high sugar content that it didn't.
Gotcha. Yeah. And how's your coming along, Laura?
It's bubbling. It's really thick. If you can see that, but it doesn't.
Once it starts browning, it's going to go quick.
Okay.
It's going to, and I think it's just that depends on your oven. But
right.
once it goes, it really goes.
It looks like sort of gluey. And
Thank you.
That's so yummy.
Mom, I want to eat. Like, can I just sip it, please?
No, it's still a little too hot. So we're going to go ahead
Can I
and
taste a piece?
you want some apple while you're waiting? Sure. We'll just do some apple without the caramel.
Wait, Mommy, is this one delicious?
I am not sure what kind of apple this one was. If you want to save your core,
No, I'm not
Yeah,
going
just
to
move
be
it
on. There's more exclamation point.
can you go wash your face quick? You've got caramel all over your chin.
Yep.
Yep, caramel on the chin.
I need the Spanish not done.
We're going to cut up our apples and get those ready to go for dipping. And I think we're probably ready for us
Mom,
to put
can I
ours
write
into a jar.
something? Can I write something?
You know what, Maxwell? We're not going to write anything right now. I'm curious if anybody else's is doing well. So yours still looks like Laura's, so it's not quite there yet. You may turn up the heat just a little bit. Sometimes it just takes a little bit longer to get that sugar and water mix. It was a half cup of water and a cup of sugar, and sometimes it just takes a little longer.
Can I write
My stove top, the gas top, is a little warmer, and actually, I'm
Can I
curious if
write
it's maybe
something?
because it's an electric top
Mom,
instead
can I
of a
write
gas
something?
flame.
see.
That changes it a little
Mom, I
bit.
think it's good.
This is sort of a vintage stove that we came with the house, and we're down to 2 burners. These 2 are broken, so we've been like just delaying buying a new one. We keep saying like,
Oh,
Let
gotcha.
it rip.
I'm going to go ahead and pour my caramel sauce into my jar here. Oh, wait a minute. I have to have a video of it. Hold on. There we go.
wow, that looks great. Look,
So mine got pretty dark, and that was because I actually had forgotten for a second to take it off right after
Let me drink it.
the caramel melt. Can you go into that drawer and grab me a red spatula, Cole? The drawer right here, closer. We're going to go ahead and just get the rest of it out. We want to get all of it. That's a perfect one, Cole. That one is great. Thank you. So I'm going to go ahead.
Wait, Mom, can I dip a whole apple into it? Well,
I'm going to pour a little bit into a little jar for you because it's still really hot.
yeah, because I want to dip like a whole apple.
Yeah, me too.
You do. And we're going to get every last bit of this caramel sauce out of here.
Caramel. Wait, Mom, I want to show this up. Caramel.
You say that?
Caramel.
it's gonna be brown soon. So I can definitely smell the sort of caramel smell in the air. It's like that browning sugar scent.
Yes, totally.
Mommy, what's this?
So how is everybody doing? Does anybody else have any questions that they want to ask, or we can stay on until your caramel is finished? I'm going to actually cut my apple in the core because I think I might use this as a stamp today. I love making these little flower stamps. Cole, can you do me a favor?
Yeah.
Can you go in there and get a piece of paper and maybe just some markers for now? We'll make a little stamp while we're waiting.
Can I dip on that in there and eat it?
So here's our caramel here.
Can I dip this in there?
I'm gonna pour a little bit out for you guys into a little jar. Actually, can you get like a marker? Because I think that's not gonna work that well. We're close. We're so close. We're just gonna do a quick apple stamp while we're waiting. Because when you cut an apple this way, you get a nice flower from your stamp, which I love. And I don't have any stamp pads
We're
here.
having an apple sample.
Yeah, if you go into that cabinet there and grab me 2 little white above where the all the utensils are, Cole. Nope, above the dishwasher. Above the dishwasher.
Okay.
And nope, the dishwasher where Maxwell is. There's a cabinet, and you can go up, open that cabinet, and grab 2 white. Let me see if this works. So mine is good, but there are some sugar globs.
Okay, so
You're gonna want to just make sure that you really melted that sugar. Is it already browned, or is it still melting? Because if it's still melting, that's fine. If there's some sugar globs.
Mom, why are you doing that?
okay, now you can pour in the milk.
No flour. We need a better stamp pad, but yeah.
Oh, did it burn you?
How cool does it need to be? Do you mean how cool does it need to be once to eat it?
I'm not done with the banner.
One second. Okay, so yours is already brown. I'm not sure why there would be some sugar globs in there. I mean, it's not gonna taste bad. It's just gonna be thicker, and that's why. Can you come over here so you can have it? I'm gonna give you guys a little sample. Come sit so I can give you samples. And the question about how cool it should be, it's just in terms of eating it, just cool enough so it's not gonna burn your mouth, obviously. I'm gonna pour just a little bit into their bowls, but I'm going to do a little bit into the bowls because it'll cool down a little quicker. After you can dip an apple if we need to. Okay. Let me make sure it's not too hot. It's warm.
Oh, that's good.
All right, kiddos. Here's the ultimate test.
That is good.
It's good. So Kelly, if yours has clumps in it, that's okay. It's just gonna have sugar clumps in it, and you can maybe say whoever gets the clump is the lucky one. It's not gonna be an issue. I think perhaps when you were browning it, you might have wanted to just swirl it a little bit to get it all covered. So Laura, you added your butter.
We added the butter, we added the milk, and a little bit of salt and vanilla as well. And so I'm just putting it back on the heat and stirring to kind of get like an even consistency, because a few parts of it, like when the milk poured in, firmed up. So, get that work. Yeah, so if your milk is too cold. Okay, Cole says this is the youngest thing he ate all week. If your milk is too cold, that will happen where it seizes up. But if you put it over the heat, it will mix back together. Is yours getting liquid again, Laura? Yes. So here's a look.
Perfect. Right. So if it's like that, if your milk is too cold and it's just put it back on the heat for a little bit, and it'll go back to being a nice, delicious sauce. How's everybody else doing? Did anybody else finish theirs? Grandma Helene, did yours turn brown eventually?
So it is an exercise in patience, because of course we all just want to eat it, but we're almost there.
Well, we are devouring apples, which sometimes you gotta add caramel, and then your kid will eat apples. So
this would be really fun.
And Maxwell says it's the best thing he ever ate in his life.
Mom, can I have another apple?
Yes, you sure can.
I think I ran out of caramel.
You ran out of caramel. Oh my goodness. We have more caramel. So again, I'm going to show you finished product here.
Yum.
So that is mine. Mine got a little bit darker than I probably wanted to, but it just tasted more rich. Grandma Helene says it did turn brown, and so you can add your butter and your milk, and I think we have caramel sauce. I'm happy to stay on. I'll end the broadcast, I think, but I'll stay and keep checking the comments in case anybody has any questions. But enjoy your caramel sauce. I'm going to use mine. I might dip some bananas into my caramel. We have a little bit of ice cream in the freezer that I think this might be tonight. What do you think? Good?
When we made a bunch of caramel last time, we also made like a sticky toffee pudding.
Oh, come down a little bit because I think the logo's on you. Sorry.
We made a sticky toffee pudding, which is like a cake that you pour caramel over, and it gets like soaked up into that. So that's another idea if you're trying to figure out how to use up all this caramel.
Yes, I don't think we're gonna have an issue figuring out. I'm gonna pour some in here just so we won't.
That's good.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna have a problem figuring out what to use ours with. All right, everybody. Well, thank you for joining us again, and hopefully your caramel is delicious. I cannot wait to see you.
Hi, Margo.
Hi, Margo. I can't wait for everybody to share their pictures of their caramel sauce and how you used it. Hey, Wes.
All right, say thank you.
Bye, guys. Oh, he's doing the same thing. I think
yeah.
Whisk. It's the best.
Right. All right. We'll see you guys later.
All right, everybody. Have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
We're going to turn this off.